We're home. Kids are in front of the TV. I'm ready to kick back myself, leave the unpacking where it is right now with the mud and the madness that we brought home from the campground. Leaving it there. Gonna put my feet up and just enjoy relaxing, true relaxing for a moment. Can I just tell you a story? Because I know it might encourage you to be you, since there's just one. That I have several flaws. I have several flaws, and one of them is my lack of patience, and my sorry, I'm showing a little skin there. Okay, bud, you need to go lay down. I know I missed you too. Yeah, still in my bathing suit because I didn't even feel like getting changed before we left because I was so done, so done. I don't camp well. But that doesn't mean that I can't find the silver lining in things, right? As predicted 2 days ago, I mentioned we were likely not going to get any sleep, and we didn't. Not a wink. The 4 children, my daughter especially, my oldest, has a real hard time sleeping. She gets anxious, and feel free to make any comments you want below. Limit the criticism of my parenting, please. But if you do have any recommendations as to how to help her sleep, that would be helpful. But we were tenting it. Of course, who doesn't have anxiety with tenting it? The first night I slept in the van because I didn't feel like putting up the tent, and she slept in it with me, and that was the only way she was gonna sleep. Now, typically, my bed is my bed, and I don't invite any of my kids in it with me, but I felt like the circumstances were a little, there was an exception, right? Plus, it was super hot, and sleeping where it's super hot is super uncomfortable. It's almost impossible, right? I sleep so much better when it's cold or the AC's on or whatever, but clearly no AC in the tent. So, I'm going somewhere with this, okay? So just stick with me. And then last night, it was calling for clear skies. No rain, not a drop. But what did it decide to do at 3 in the morning? Thunder, lightning, and pour down rain. And my kids, thinking I finally figured out how to get them calm and to get them down. And in a campground, people don't care that you're sleeping in a tent. They're up until midnight, 1 o'clock, doing what they're doing, having a grand old time. Camping's not for me. If I have a 45-foot glamper, I might give it a shot. But in a tent with 4 children, no thank you. No thank you. Clearly I felt better about sleeping in my van one of the nights, right? Still trying to make the most use of it. So it stormed. I said this to my husband because I thought it was the best analogy, because at first he's like, don't disturb the kids. I know they're afraid of storms typically, but just, if they're not going to wake up, then why disturb them now? And so I'm up from the first rumble of the storm, the thunder. My eyes are open, just waiting for one of my kids to make a peep, because it hasn't started raining just yet. And so one of my kids popped up and squeaked. I unzipped my tent and zipped and got out, opened theirs, got in. He was half asleep. I said, grab your pillow, and I carried him to my parents' camper. He hopped into bed with Grandpa, and then I went back. It's muddy too, because earlier that day had already rained, so it was still pretty muddy. I was barefoot. It was disgusting. And then I get my daughter, who's deathly afraid of thunder and lightning, and she just started whimpering too, like on the borderline of screaming her little lungs out, just before I got there. So I'm glad I got there when I did. I'm glad I left the tent when I did. I got her and her pillow and her blankie and brought her to the tent, or to the camper from the tent. She also hopped into bed with Papa. My dad's expecting the other 2 kids to come in as well, but Josie ended up staying in our tent with Dave and me, and I came back for Wes, and he's back on. He's half asleep, half awake. I'm like, bud, it's thunder and lightning. It's storming. Do you want me to take you to Papa? You want to go and he loves Papa. Papa is like the man, okay? Do you want me to take you to Papa? He's like, no, I'm good. He's the youngest, you guys, and he was in the tent all by himself, and he slept right through that storm. So funny. And he taught me something, okay? Because here I am, and still trying to be colorful in my complaining. My daughter really struggles with anxiety, okay? And one of the things that I told her in my anger and impatience was get up or shut up, okay? Yeah, I know, classy, real loving. But by that time, I'd given her several options, and all she wanted to do was complain. She didn't want to change her she wanted to change her circumstances, but she didn't want to do the changing of them. So, have you ever met anyone like that who likes to complain without really needing to fix anything, just likes to complain? You offer suggestions, they even ask you, what would you do? You offer your ideas, and they don't take it. They just rather sit down, complain, and not do anything about it. Okay, I'm not saying that's what I do. I do complain though, case in point, this whole weekend. I mean, I had fun. It certainly gave us a story to tell. We had a great time with our family, and the daytimes were great. We had a great several hours during the daytime. It's just, you can't sleep. You can't possibly sleep in a campsite with 400 sites. Every kind of person that you can imagine, every walk of life up in there, and no consideration whatsoever. And I mean, shoot, my kids woke up at 6 o'clock the first morning, just giggling and laughing. I mean, I apologize to our neighbors, but I didn't really feel bad because they kept us up. So, whatever. But Wes's response was so good. It was classic. I loved it. Nope, I'm good. He had the right mentality at 4 years old. He's going to be 5 next month, just in a couple weeks. But, I mean, even for a 5-year-old, that mentality is spot on. My 9-year-old, of course I don't expect her to have it figured out. We as adults don't have it figured out, but there's a point in time where you need to get up or shut up. Am I right? So I hope that encourages you in some way, maybe even challenges you to be you, because there's just one you, so be the best you there is. Take care.